Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. I am back and in a different spot today. It is definitely a grim kind of day. We are expecting a severe thunderstorm here very soon in the south side of Chicago where I'm at.
Boys, they got the big horn out, but they got street sweepers
And
up
that
here.
is my CB, which I will now shut off because people talk rudely when I'm making videos. How dare they? They should know better by now that I'm making videos and they need to be quiet. But, they don't, so I have to keep telling them. Oh well. Anyway, I'm going to title the video something along the lines of spiritual warfare, maybe false religions, probably false religions, because that's what I'm going to talk about today. So this is one of those biblical religious videos. Then if you are not religious or atheist or, you outright hate God, this probably isn't the video for you, unless you want to bash a couple churches, because I'm probably going to do that in this video. Anyway, let's just start with a story here. I haven't attended a church, an actual church, in 7 months. It was January 2019 the last time I attended the church. Today is August 20th, 2019, so just in reference, it's right around 7 months, give or take, a few days. And I will get into why in just a few minutes, but it was an Apostolic Church I was attending, and yeah, I got a few things to say about Apostolic Churches. But spiritual warfare, I'd say probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, I was sitting in a yard truck at a warehouse moving trailers around. It was dark, and I worked day shift in this particular job, so it was in the winter time, and it was probably cold, and it was really early in the morning, I would assume. And for some odd reason, I was watching a video that got recommended on my YouTube channel, of course, and it was a video of Derek Prince. And if you've never heard of Derek Prince, he has since passed away. He was a pastor. I forget the type of church. It might have been a Pentecostal, but don't quote me on that. Derek Prince, and he what he did was he basically he could exorcise demons, if you believe in such things, which I do, and he was very good at it. And he went over, basically, in one of the sermons that was actually recorded, he went over a lot of them, how he pulled them out of a single girl, and talked about different types of spiritual entities, I suppose you could call it. And when most people think of demons, they think of, the little cartoon characters with horns and tails, and, and he explains it in a whole different manner of how it's actually a person. You look at it like a regular person that whispers in your ear and tells you to do certain things. He explains it a lot better than I ever could, so I won't even bother to try that. But, essentially, spiritual warfare is demons. They are real. Angels, they are real. If you believe in God and you have read the Bible, I mean, Jesus himself has exorcised demons out of people. I mean, if you didn't read the New Testament, you should. So that's where I got most of my information from. Derek Prince, on the other hand, he talks about different types of spirits that affect us, one of which follows along your family lineage, your family line, can pass from, family members to family members, such as fathers to sons in my case, is which it was. I won't go into the details of exactly what it was, because it's just not relevant. The point of the matter is that I had a problem with a spirit, and it had been the same problem that my father had. I am assuming his father had, and I know a couple of my uncles, his brothers, also had this particular issue. And when I watched this video of Derek Prince speaking about how they can pass from person to person, from family member to family member, I had an epiphany or a revelation, or from my point of view, God just biffed me in the back of the head and said, wake up and pay attention. So that's basically how I got back into religion. I've always been in Assemblies of God churches throughout my life as a child and a little bit as an adult here and there. I wasn't really that into it for most of my life, but I was here and there occasionally. Occasionally I had a brain, occasionally I didn't. So I guess, however you want to look at it. But after that moment, it was a revelation that I seen what was affecting me. And I started praying right there on that spot, in that yard truck. I actually got on my knees in that tiny little truck. It was not an easy thing in that little truck. And I prayed, and I felt a warmth come over me, and here I am today, talking about it on YouTube. So, okay, so that is why I am religious, why I'm still religious. I follow Pentecostal beliefs, and Assemblies of God is a Pentecostal church. It's just a little bit of a different Pentecostal church. Basically, the real main difference is how they dress. Pentecostals believe in modesty and wearing t-shirts like this that have rude sayings like that one. Well, I guess that one's not too rude. I have shirts that are way ruder than this, but yeah, we won't go into that. But yeah, the skirts, long hair. The Bible actually tells you, First Corinthians, I think it's chapter 11, not to cut your hair, or not. Men should look like men, and women should look like women, etc., etc. That's what the Bible says, and Pentecostals stick to that to a T. And I agree with it mostly. I mean, I would prefer all of my children, especially the female children that I have, to always dress like proper ladies, skirts, dresses, things like that. I don't want to see them running around in yoga pants. That's just my personal belief, and I don't. It's not really a religious thing. It's a don't go be a slut thing. Just to be blunt about it. Anyway, Apostolic Church, and why I haven't attended a church in 7 months. The last church I attended was an Apostolic Church. Apostolics believe, and I'm not, I've only been to one Apostolic Church, and I've read a little bit about it, so this is not like for every one of them. Please, don't take it against me, because this is my experience, and this is what I'm going to share with you. In my experience, Apostolic churches are a false religion. They believe and teach that Jesus is the only God, that Jesus is the one and only. He is God, He is the Father, He is the Son, He is the Holy Spirit. The Bible does not agree with that at all. If you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I don't see how you could interpret it that way, how you can interpret it that Jesus is the one and only God, when it clearly states Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost, however you want to say it. So, they baptize people in the name of Jesus alone. In the Bible, that is not how it was done. That's not how Jesus told us to do it. He said, only through Christ, Jesus, can you reach the Father. And I use the name Jesus lightly because I don't believe that is his real name. Just to go off on a little rant here, a little sidetrack, if somebody from Mexico comes up and his name is Jose, do you start calling him Josie when he shows up? No, you still call him Jose, even though his name is spelled differently in your language. So how did you take a Hebrew name, Yeshua, and change it into Jesus? Anyway, enough with my ranting. Apostolic churches. I had an incident happen in my life. It was a very traumatic thing for me and my family. It was, I'm not going to go into too many details about this because personal things and all that, and YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the point of the matter is, at the end of this, or as this was going on, I asked my pastor, who was a pastor of an apostolic church, and I was already having doubts about their certain beliefs, but I liked the pastor. I liked him a lot, and I asked for his help in this matter. It was not financial. I didn't need money. I really only asked somebody to pray with me and to guide me through a tough situation, and he refused to help me at all, completely abandoned me, would not speak to me, would not answer his phone, and has not spoken to me since, and I have not walked into a church since then. Is it his fault I haven't walked into a church? Not really. No, not doing it again. I've had this problem in a church before, in false religions and false pastors, and I'm not saying that he is one. He admitted to someone I know that it's a sin that he committed to abandon me in that time, and that he would have to live with that. So he made that choice consciously. It's not my place to judge him. But that is why I don't go into churches, and I do not believe apostolic faith or religion is a true religion. I also don't believe in evolution. I believe that you cannot prove it. You cannot prove evolution any more than I can prove God to you. And both of those take a measure of faith. So you have to have faith to believe that evolution actually occurred or does occur, because there is not 100% proof of either one. Now, I can show you proof of God, and you can show me proof of evolution. That doesn't mean they're both real at all. There's no definite proof. You cannot just say, yeah, this is it, here it is, here's God right here, here's evolution. It just doesn't happen. If evolution ever did exist, it's because God made it. That's my opinion, but I don't believe he did, because there's just no proof of it. And like I said, you have to have some measure of faith to believe in evolution. So in my opinion, it's a false religion. But, I got very little time today because they're already done with what they're supposed to be doing in here, and I got to go in and talk to them. And yeah, I don't really want to because these people kind of annoy me. But we'll do that on a different video. Why these people annoy me? But anyway, point of the matter is, I do follow some pastors on YouTube. I watch a few. I won't bother to mention them because that's up for you. I read my Bible. I study with my family the Bible. That's all you really need to do. It does say in the Bible to congregate with people of like-minded people of the same faith. It says that you need to explore and you need to surround yourself with people who believe what you believe, is how I take it, just because it helps your faith. It really does. It really helps your faith to be with people who believe the same things you do. If you're hanging out with a bunch of atheists, they're constantly going to be telling you that God isn't real, and then eventually it's going to start swimming around in your head, and you're going to get doubts, and your faith is going to be tested, and you shouldn't do that to yourself. It's just, I don't see why you would, unless you like torturing yourself. But anyway. But that's pretty much all I got for today. I'm probably going to get some apostolic hate mail. Well, I probably won't, because I've never given anybody my email on here, and even if I did, I'd probably ignore it anyway, because whatever. I don't really care that much if I offend people. If I did offend you in this video, I would please just do me the favor of walking out into the sun and tell me how long it takes for you to melt, because obviously you're a snowflake. And that's about as grim as I'm going to get today, so I hope everybody has a good day. Don't die, at least not until after you watch my video. I think I said that before, but I thought it was funny then, so I think it's funny now too. Have a good one.